Hello, everybody. This is Douglas O'Clair, known online as Joff. I'm the owner of the company Logical Graphs. And today we're going to be talking about repaying a lease on NOLUS protocol. We're going to look at what the lease is, how I got to the lease, how to see if it's profitable on the NOLUS protocol, repaying the lease, and seeing how that pans out, how it all comes out in the wash. Okay, so let's do it. All right, you see here that I have a lease for Ethereum that I took out originally with 40 Axel USDC for $100 leased of Ethereum. How I got there originally was that I placed wrapped staked F into a minting position where I minted 100 USK. Then I went to Kujira Fin and I translated that 100 USK to approximately 100 Axel USDC. I bridged that over to the NOLUS protocol, bridged over $40 worth of that Axel USDC to the NOLUS protocol to create the lease. So then the NOLUS protocol provided an additional $60 worth of Ethereum. I leased that at the time. Let's see how much I leased that for. My records state that I leased it for $2,300 per Ethereum. The current value of Ethereum is $2,800. So that lease turned out well, or so it would seem. So let's check it out. So for me to repay the lease, that means that I'm going to pay the $60 that I owe, the 60.3 dollars that I owe. And by repaying that debt, I get back the 0.042951 Ethereum, now worth $2,800 per. But recall that I minted 100 USK originally to get to it. So even though it's worth more now, I'm not getting all that Ethereum. I'm going to repay my USK to my minting position on Team Kujira. And the amount left over is the amount of Ethereum that I get presumably for free, right? Because if I minted 100 USK, I repay all of that USK, then the Ethereum remaining is Ethereum that I paid nothing for. So let's see how that works out. Okay, so first I have to go to Team Kujira Fin, and I'm going to withdraw my trading position with the Axel USDC. I'm trading it back and forth between Axel USDC and USK, and I've made approximately $5 trading back and forth 260 Axel USDC. Well, I'm going to cancel that order. So that I get the Axel USDC. Then I'm going to bridge that over to NOLUS to repay the lease. So let's bridge it over. You see in my positions that I have Axel USDC on Kujira. Says I have $1,300 of Axel USDC, which is pretty cool. Why in the world? Let's look. Yeah, that was due to other trades. So I actually didn't have to cancel that trades. But okay, so anyway, let's send over $61 over to NOLUS. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to hop it over by first sending it to XLR. Okay, that was sent. So let's pick up that transaction. Fuji is trading at 362. So that's my fee, and that's the basis. Now I sent that to XLR. Now I have to send it to Osmosis in order to get it over to NOLUS. So let's do that. So on my assets on Osmosis, let's switch over this wallet. To my SBeth wallet. And let's deposit that. Nope, no go. So let's go via IBC. Send that over to Osmosis Zone. And let's look for XLR. Let's look for my wallet on XLR. Never mind. So here we go. And then here we go. Axel is trading at it's gone up in price. Oops. So there's my fee. And then I need to move that from osmosis to NOLUS. So we go to our assets on NOLUS. We look for Axel USDC on instead of Neutron, we're looking for Axel USDC from osmosis. So let's deposit that. Let's take all $61 of it. NOLUS very nicely provides the transaction hash. And osmosis is currently trading at 166. Good on you, osmosis. All right, so now I should have $61 in my NOLUS protocol wallet. Let's check. Go to my assets and look for Axel USDC. Says nothing. Let's do a refresh. And there it is. I have 61 Axel USDC. So let's go to my lease. My lease says it's making $20 still. Now, why am I repaying this lease? Well, if we look at the indicators, so let's look at the indicators for Ethereum. For Ethereum, here is Ethereum's versus USD. And you can see that Ethereum has shot way up in price, and it is way above its EMA 20 or exponential moving average 20 days indicator. And so that indicates a very strong sell. Now, so that's an indicator. That's one of many indicators that's indicating that Ethereum should be a sell. On the other hand, a token that's going up in price is going to keep going up in price until it doesn't anymore. So is this the perfect time to sell? Probably not. But so I'm going on my own judgment of should I close this lease? And my own judgment is that I have $20 of profit here that NOLUS is indicating that I have. So I'm happy with that. If it goes up to another $200, I have the Ethereum in my hand. So it's going to go up for $200 for me anyway. So I could keep holding on to this lease if I wanted to, and use the power of the leverage to make more. But I'm happy with the profit that I've made on this lease. So I'm going to close this lease, and when another opportunity arises, then I'll create another lease. But for now, this lease has done what I needed it to do. So let's repay it. So I'm going to repay it with Axel USDC. And I'm going to repay 100%. And it computes how much I need to repay in total to complete the lease and give me the Ethereum. Let's repay. Blah, 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 blah. Make sure I have some NOLUS tokens available. I'm going to repay this amount. I'm going to have this kind of fee. So let's confirm. It's computing. So that repays the lease. So let's squirrel away this transaction hash. And so what does that do? What that does is, behold, you now have a lease that is repaid. And it's valuated at this. You have 0.04 Ethereum and a little bit of actual USDC. So that, if we look in our assets, we see that, let's do a refresh here. You see that the actual USDC is gone. There's only a little bit of it left. But there's no Ethereum in my NOLUS wallet because I've repaid the lease, but I haven't collected the assets from that repayment. So the lease is repaid, but now I have to collect the assets. So let's do that. Okay, so now let's squirrel this transaction hash away. Now I should have the assets in hand. Let's go see. Okay, if I do a refresh on my lease page, still working. It says, hey, look, you don't have any leases because I've repaid the lease and I've collected the assets from the lease. So now when we go to my wallet, let's do a refresh. Then you see, behold, I have my Ethereum in my wallet now. So, and it's worth $120. Fantastic. That means that I leased it well, when did I lease it? I leased it back at the beginning of the month. So 12 days ago, I leased it at 2,300 per Ethereum. And 0.0043 0.029. So yeah, about that much. And I've charged this much. So I've completed that lease. Now let's update my leased position to see how much I've made over time. So there, and then all that. The surcharge is now this 0.1, 0.01, and 0.01. Okay. So .02 NOLUS, but NOLUS is worth what? 8 cents per. Good on you, NOLUS. So that's my surcharge. Nothing really. Okay, total that, 10% that. We've gone up above our 10% marker. So let's grab all this and put it into you see that I haven't updated my positions here for any rate. Oh, all right. So today's date is and then the price per Ethereum is this. And I have these many tokens. Okay, so I have the same number of tokens that I leased. I'm getting out the same number of tokens. But I leased with approximately $100 worth. But I'm getting out this much worth. So my return on investment is this times this minus this divided by this. That's my return on investment, 20%, which checks out. I made $20 on a $100 investment. Okay, so net delta, let's change that. Dollars. This. Oh, um, let's simplify here. Let's just put this as 0. I didn't lose anything in the lease. And okay, so that's 20%. I already computed it on a prior situation, or 600% APR, which is pretty awesome. 20% return on investment, meaning that I put in $100 worth total. I provided $40 worth of it. NOLUS lent me $60. And then when I repaid the lease, I have the entire Ethereum because I repaid the borrowed amount of $60. And so it's worth $20 more. But I did that in 12 days. I made $20 off of $100 in 12 days. The APR, the annual percentage rate, is extended to an annualized return. So extending the 12 days over a period of 1 year gets you the 637% return. Great. Okay. And I'll clean up this spreadsheet later. And so now we've closed the lease. How do I get my Ethereum to my FBeth wallet? I want to send it to, so I'm going to send it to Osmosis. And then from Osmosis, I'm going to send it to Alexar, and then from Alexar, I'm going to send it to Kujira. Why am I doing all this? Because I'm going to put it back. So I originally lent myself, or I minted 100 USK on Kujira. I'm sending it back to Kujira. I'm going to sell $100 worth on Kujira, repay that mint, and then the remaining amount will be the amount of Ethereum that I made in profit. So let's send 100% of it and go. Want to leave a little bit of NOLUS? Okay, that's fine. Okay, you saw my assets updated in the background. And it is amount. It's trading at much from NOLUS to osmosis. Okay. So that Ethereum should be on osmosis. And then so from here, we ship it to XLR. It's sent. Had a question come up on my timeline asking, is anybody doing their taxes? And yes, indeed, I am. I've had questions come up, do I do all my transaction actions manually? Well, it appears that I do. And the reason why I do all this manually is because now I have a complete record of every transaction I've done on every blockchain, all on one spreadsheet. So I can look at number of transactions, costs of transactions, profits and losses. And I don't have to rely on a blockchain that may lose some of its transactions over time. Okay, so I move that to Axelar. So let's go over to Team Kujira and bridge it over from get our balances there. Happy St. Valentine's Day, everybody. So let's send it over. With my transaction fee. Thank you very much. And so now we go to our wallet, refresh our wallet. And we see now we have the Ethereum, 119.91 worth. So let's go over to Fin. Let's look at exchanging our Ethereum. Ethereum's highest price is at 2785, 2782, same price, 272819. That's the highest priced. So let's exchange to Axel USDC, and then we'll swap over to USK. So I want to sell the Ethereum. I want to sell $100 worth. So here I'll make 121. So if I do 0.4, nope, 0.35, nearly there. 0.36, good enough. So I'm going to sell 0.36, 0.036. That's going to leave me 0.007 Ethereum. Hardly any Ethereum, right? But it's mine, and I paid nothing for it. It took 12 days to get that 0.007 Ethereum, but it's mine, and I paid nothing for it net. I put $100 into play. I leased the Ethereum. Now I'm bringing that Ethereum back, selling $100 worth back to eventually USK, so I can burn the minted USK, and what remains is mine, and it cost me net nothing. Pretty awesome. Okay, so let's sell this Ethereum. Okay, there we go. I put that up for sale. When the order book hits that price point, then I'll get the actual USDC. I'll swap that to USK and then burn the minted USK so that I can go over to my minting position and pay back that 100 USK that I minted in order to create that lease. That's not going to be part of this video here because we're focusing on what's going on with NOLUS. So let's go to the wallet. Now we refresh the wallet and we see that I have 0.007 Ethereum, which is 20 bucks of Ethereum. 20 bucks of Ethereum that Team Kujira allowed me to mint USK, swap to actual USDC, transport it eventually over to NOLUS. NOLUS allowed me to lease the Ethereum. I provided $40 worth. They provided $60 worth, lending me that $60. And then because of the price movement of Ethereum, I was able to repay that lease, bring it back over to Team Kujira, pay down or burn the minted USK, and I'm left with $20 worth of Ethereum, whereas before I had nothing before that. So this transaction over 12 days netted me $20 worth of Ethereum from $100 position that I took in NOLUS 12 days ago. The neat thing is that, okay, so that's a neat little experiment. Made $20. That's great. $20 off $100 is fantastic. The neat thing is that you can do this with any amount of money. And on top of that, because I minted the USK from an Ethereum position, a wrapped stake Ethereum position, I used my Ethereum liquidity to create the USK position that allowed me to create Ethereum from the original Ethereum liquidity. This is the way that you can use your liquidity. So you have Ethereum, you have Bitcoin, you have whatever, you have this liquidity sitting there. You can put it into a wrap stake position for Ethereum and it grows 3% per annum. That's great. But Team Kujira allows you to create a minting position where you mint USK from that, and you can deploy that liquidity elsewhere to do something. I chose to deploy that liquidity into a NOLUS lease. The NOLUS lease paid for itself because of the price movement of Ethereum, so that I was able to repay that lease and profit thereby. Pretty neat. So thank you, Team Kujira. Thank you, NOLUS, for providing these tools that allow me to use my liquidity to create more liquidity. Thank you.